Hello, you fabulous Fujoshi and you fantastic Fudanshi, and to the rest of you, behave yourselves, and welcome back to another one of our weekly Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 3 discussion videos. Today we're here to talk all about Episode 6, but before we get into that, let's see if we can't get this video to, let's say, 100 likes before the end of the day. Let's see if we can do it. I believe in you guys. But with that said, go ahead and get nice and cozy, grab yourself a warm cup of tea, throw this video in another tab, and let's talk about Episode 6 of Ascendance of a Bookworm Season 3. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the situation just keeps getting worse and worse for mine. And again, as some of you know, I'm not the biggest fan of mine. But if mine is in danger, that means that the show, as we know it, is also in danger, right? So, like, as things keep getting worse and worse, I'm thinking, like, how, like, what's gonna happen, right? Like, things for mine keep looking more and more bad, right? Like, we see that, like, the Grand Priest is being, like, this, like, obnoxious toolbox. Seems like he's gonna try to, like, give mine away to the nasty evil nobles and stuff like that, and we know that, like, there's people out to get mine, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. One of the nobles happens to be the mom of that douchey green-haired guy from last season, so it's looking worse and worse and worse, and it's not just looking bad for mine, it's also looking bad for Ferdy as well. Things are not looking very good for the gang. Now, I'm not, like, we're on episode 6. We have about another 4 episodes to go this season, so I'm not super certain where we're gonna end, because, like, that's already bad enough. Now it looks like our new boy Dirk, the baby that the gang has been looking after, he seems to have gotten some sort of illness at the tail end, and I'm like, is this going to be contagious? Is this like another thing we're going to have to deal with? Now, mind you, it could just be chickenpox, because that's kind of what it looked like. This is like, is it chickenpox? I don't super know what he has, but whatever it is, it ain't good. Like, he seemed, because the way he was crying, I assumed that Delia would have caught on, that it's like, it was much more intense than it was before. It was like a hard, painful cry, right? Because usually babies cry all the time, right? But, like, this was like something was wrong type of crying, you know, like really loud, screamy crying. So I thought Delia would know, but she didn't really connect the dots until she saw him. And, okay, if there's a character I dislike more than mine, it's probably Delia. Because, like, well, it's probably the Grand Priest. But, like, there's a few characters that I dislike more than mine. But, like, Delia is obnoxious to the point where I'm shocked that she's still in the show as she is, right? Because the gang just kind of, like, interact with her. They do kind of keep her at arm's length, but they do sort of treat her like a friend now, which is just weird, because they know that this friend is actively, like, ratting them out to, like, the Grand Priest. So it's like, I don't know, like, and I've seen people, like, in the comments of Crunchyroll videos saying, like, how is she even still around? And it's true, it's like, that's kind of nuts. Like, it doesn't seem like anybody actually likes Delia. Like, everybody seems to be pretty angry and upset with Delia, which, like, understandably so, she's kind of a brat. Even when she's like, I want the kid to have a name that sounds like me, that way I'll consider it more of a sibling. And I'm like, that's very, like, that's very douchey, you know, like, that's very, like, self-absorbed, right? But so because of that, the baby's name becomes Dirk. And I don't know what you want me to say about Dirk. He is a baby. So it's like, he's a baby. He cries a lot, and he poops his pants. That's about it. I do find it interesting that now mine has to deal with not only Dirk, but also Camille. So it's like, or not just Camille, but also Dirk now. So it's like, there's definitely a lot of things going on. Mine has a lot on her plate, because she's trying to deal with the ink thing, she's trying to deal with nobles coming after her, she's trying to deal with revenge plots, and now there's an illness, and there's 2 babies, and there's a lot on mine's plate. So I can definitely understand the stress that she must be under at this point. But yeah, from what I gather, I don't think anybody really likes Delia. So, and I imagine people are probably just going to be kind of indifferent towards Dirk because this is a baby, right? So it's just kind of a baby. I do think it's interesting that Dirk cries when he sees Mine, because this is something that we notice that Camille does as well. When Camille sees Mine's face, he cries. And the same thing goes with Dirk. When they see Mine's face, they cry. So I am kind of curious as to what that's about. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I see Mine's face, I get upset too, but I don't cry. So, yeah, you know what I mean? When I see Mine, I also get upset, but I don't cry. I definitely pout though, because I'm like, man, can't stand Mine. But yeah, Mine does bug me, but not as bad as Delia. Delia bugs me worse. I'm not gonna lie, I'm shocked that season 3 is going as smoothly as it is, because season 2 was so bad. Season 2 was so bad. And I did see a lot of people before I stopped reading the comments telling me that, like, yeah, season 2 is pretty rough, and I'm like, I'm glad we agree. Yeah, because season 2 is pretty rough. But season 3 is off to a pretty damn good start. I like the tension. I think it's pretty solid. Again, I do feel like we're moving very fast. But that could be because of the episode runtime as well. They only have 10 episodes this season, so you can feel the crunch a little bit. But again, it keeps the show moving at a good clip. So it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, the show's moving at a really good pace, you know, like, or not good pace, but the show's moving at a good clip. There's constantly something going on each episode, but because of that, it does feel like we're kind of rushing to, like, a conclusion here. And I am a little concerned about what that conclusion might be, because, again, things are not looking very good for Mine or Ferdinand. Like, they ain't looking very good at all. So I am kind of curious as to what could be happening. That said, there is other characters that we are introduced to this week, namely Heidi and Joseph, who Heidi is like Mine if she didn't suck. I've aired my grievances with Mine, and I've seen people defend it, and it doesn't work. Every time I see people defend Mine, I'm like, no. If it's weird for one character, it's weird for another. So that's gonna be a no. And I've seen people be like, she never had a crush on Lutz. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. Definitely didn't say shit that was wildly uncomfortable, and we all didn't say that was weird in season 1. No, I must be imagining things. But yeah, Mine I find kind of creepy and just kind of obnoxious and rude to this season. Like, to this day, still obnoxious and rude. I just don't like Mine, right? For the same reasons why I don't really like Rudius, right? Like, there's a lot of Isekai characters who I just don't like, right? Because I can't stand, like, their characterization. And Mine is just one of those characters. But, you know, characters like Ferdinand and stuff like that, I definitely don't hate Ferdinand the way that I used to. Because I found Ferdinand obnoxious in season 2. But, like, again, other characters that have been showing up lately, like Karstit is friggin' awesome. I love Cars. He's great. Sylvester is absolutely dope. Again, characters... So basically, all the characters from season 1, all the characters from season 3, although technically Cars was introduced at the tail end of season 2. And I'm sure what's-his-name is cool, too. Mine's bodyguard, who is boring as hell, but, like, I'm sure he's cool in the books. I have read the first volume of the books, and I hated Mine's inner monologue and made me dislike her even more. So I'm not going to read the books. So I'm just going to take everybody's word for it. If there's a manga, maybe, and the manga covers the stuff that skipped, maybe I'll read that instead. Because Mine's inner monologue makes me dislike her even more. But, yeah, as I said, like, all the characters from season 3 are dope. All the characters from season 1 are dope. And I'm curious to see, like, what's gonna happen, right? Because if the nobles do try to kidnap Mine, I can imagine, like, Cars and Sylvester, like, getting involved and trying to get her back, while Lutz and Benno do as much as they can to get information to figure out where she is. Like, I can see Mine, like, being kidnapped and the gang trying to rescue her, right? Like, I could see that being, like a story arc towards, like, the latter half of the season, which we are coming up on. We are now in the latter half of the season, which was very fast. Again, 10 episodes. It's unfortunately not a whole lot of time, and we haven't really been covering the show that much, because we've only been covering the show for, like, 3 episodes at this point. So, understandably, it's a much briefer time with these characters than before, but I actually think that might be helping the season for me. Because again, like I really enjoy this season. I think like the drama is there, the characters are good, the art style has always been pretty solid. So like this season just moves at a much quicker clip. But as I was saying, Heidi, I totally got sidetracked. Heidi and Joseph. Heidi is basically mine if she wasn't obnoxious. Because she has a lot of Mine's like curiosity, she has Mine's energy with her, but at the same time, she's this like completely, like, she's not weird, she's not creepy, she's not rude, she's just excitable and curious, right? And she does have a line that has me wondering something, because she's like, I just thought maybe we could see this things similarly, or I just thought maybe we could relate or something like that. Like she says something that catches mine. And I was like, is Heidi also isekai? You know what I mean? I was like, was Heidi also isekai? That's interesting. Right? Like I don't think she was, but I did think that line delivery was interesting. Or I was like, is Heidi also like from another world? Because that'd be kind of cool. But Heidi is basically just the person in charge of mixing the different inks to make colored ink, so that they can use it for Mine's picture book that she wants to leave behind for Camille. And Heidi is super fun. I love her energy. I wish the show was about Heidi. Heidi and Joseph would have been cool. Like I really liked those two a lot. Mainly Heidi, because Joseph doesn't really get a lot to do. And seeing Benno get frustrated at Mine, as always, is very funny, because Mine's a frustrating character and Benno's very funny. I love the line of like Lutz, you have to be careful, there's two of them, and he's like, I could barely handle one as it is, right? Like that is pretty funny. But yeah, overall, just again another super solid episode. Season 3 has been significantly better in my opinion than season 1, or not season 1, season 2. I'd say season 1's probably the strongest season, and then season 3, and then season 2 at like a very distant bottom tier. But I am very curious if maybe, like, I'm almost wondering if Delia's dynamic with Dirk will make her a better person, and if she'll be able to figure out that something's up with the priests and, like, Mine, and maybe give her a heads up or something. I don't know. I am very curious where we're going, and I'm sure you guys are too, so go ahead and sound off in the comments. I won't be reading them, because I don't read the comment section anymore. But you guys can talk amongst yourselves, just behave yourselves. But with that said, outro. And that's going to do it for today's video, everybody. So we hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share the video around. And of course, I have to give a big thank you to our lovely patrons. Look at these beautiful people, all these people who helped keep this channel afloat. I sincerely appreciate it. And of course, I have to give a big thank you to Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorans, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all once again so much for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon or here on YouTube just by watching the videos. I sincerely appreciate it. Be good, and we will see you next time.